It's fine.
You have so many to choose from.
I told you it was fine, and you decided to do another one, so it's not on me.
Do you leave the claps in?
No, I never do.
So what? We probably shouldn't reference it. It's just a thing we do to sync up the audio.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna leave it in because this is a full-blown conversation.
Well, don't do all of them. Just do like the last one.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do the last one. It'll like kind of whatever. You'll see.
Wouldn't that ruin your ability to sync it up because there would be more than one left in?
No. Why would it? I mean, they all sync up, and then I just kind of like cut it off after the first one. It's not a big deal. This is Alex.
I'm Yaman.
I'm Patrick.
It's not that I think they're justifying murder, but there were definitely people doing that. Talking about the XXXTentacion thing where he got killed.
Get out of the way? How do you say his name? Because I've never been able to figure that out.
If it's already established who we're talking about, I just call him X. But
okay.
If
for the rest of the
for the first thing I have to say, it's XXXTentacion.
Is it Temptation? Tentacion?
I don't think about it that much, to be honest.
Me neither. So
I thought it was temptation for a while because I was like, "There's no way it's a weird made-up word," and then it was like temptation.
Definitely is. There's a lot of weird rappers these days that are pretty young that have pretty dumb names and pretty dumb. They are pretty dumb in general, and I'm specifically just talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, who couldn't do a pretty basic math problem on like his live stream. That's one of my favorite videos online. I swear to God. And I hope he sees a dentist real soon.
People were very quick to. I can understand if you like tweet something like "I don't care," because he was a cunt. He abused people, a pregnant woman. He beat up a gay man in prison when he looked at him. I'm assuming a slew of other things.
Yeah. So what is your... Because when we were talking about this in the group chat, you, me, and Yaman, you were basically like, I don't care. He was a huge piece of shit. And then, I don't know if Yaman wants to like,
I think that's... And people were defending. It's not that I don't. Murder is fucking awful. Absolutely, nobody should be shot dead. You know, unless you like killed millions of people or something like that. But it's the people who are going on the internet and saying like, "Good, I'm glad he got shot." It's like, he was a bastard. You're right, but he deserves punishment beyond getting shot to death for that.
What punishment do you think? You mean like criminal
justice?
punishment?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if he served his sentences. He was in jail for a period of time. But I'm pretty sure with one of the abuses he was alleged to have done to the pregnant woman, there was no legal action. It was just allegations.
I don't know if he was found not guilty or there was just no legal action at all. I don't remember exactly what happened.
I just remember there was like some report where like one of the people he abused had bruises all over their body and like scars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I fall more into the camp that while I think it's technically in bad taste or whatever to
no, it's not in bad taste to
celebrate.
Clap. If you don't want people to clap when you get murdered, don't be a cunt your entire life.
It's just the same people that are saying, how could you like be celebrating this guy's death are also the same, like most of the time they're just the people that are like, he was 20 years old, he made some mistakes, he was troubled.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, bullshit. Shut the fuck up.
Your personal demons or some shit like that. You're not personal anymore. Your demons have reached out of your body and beaten people, and it's just... It's also a bunch of people who are fans of his music are very upset. They're saying, "Oh, he helped me out of a bad place." It's like, that's nice. He also fucking helped some other people into a bad place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, also, there's like lots of other artists out there. You guys should really listen to more music. But he was just not a good person, like at all. Like, I feel like people build up this image of this person, this artist that their music helped them through a difficult time, so they feel an emotional attachment to them, an irrational emotional attachment. That's completely separate from the abusing and violent person behind that. And you see this a lot of the time with celebrities, and especially people in the arts and stuff. Plenty of musicians have a history of this, actors too, where behind the scenes, behind their facade of their performance or whatever, they are actually huge pieces of shit for one reason or another. They are domestic abusers or racist or some other shit. But
it's some of it. There's a lot of different reasons why people will justify like stuff like that and say it's terrible that he did those things, but and then explain away the things that he did. But like, there's also people who have lived along, like they've been very vocal about friends with him, or like not necessarily that, just like big fans, and they've always talked about it and like, oh, he's the greatest, la la la. And then the information comes out that he did something to somebody, and there's a moment of like, all right, so if I immediately jump off the wagon, then I don't know, it'll look like I'm a flake or something like that, and leaving in his hour of need. Mm-hmm. And it's this like, you need this like sense of loyalty or something, like with all the Kevin Spacey things, like all these old white men came out of the woodwork in Hollywood and they were like, I'm standing by my friend. It's like, what?
Yeah, no, like there's so many fucking apologists out there. There's so many apologists for a lot of artists. Like, people are still trying to give Chris Brown a pass, and it's insane to me. But XXXTentacion or whatever, so many people are just being like, I saw this dumbass post that was like, Malcolm X was, if he died at 20 years old, he would have been known as like a common thief, but he grew up to be like an amazing civil rights leader, yada yada. I'm just like, don't fucking compare XXXTentacion to fucking Malcolm X, okay? Like, not even remotely on the same plane of potential or whatever. Like, XXXTentacion has already led a life that is way more damaging and like violent to like others, and you could tell he already had serious hateful issues against gay people and women especially. So like, I personally can't see why anyone would feel particularly bad about it and want
about him dying.
Yeah, I mean, I was never like a huge fan of his music to begin with. It just feels like we shouldn't be mourning too badly someone who is so clearly a terrible person. And I see so many people trying to just brush all that shit off. Especially a lot of like big name rappers and other artists too, which is just really like pissing me off. A lot of people, like, I like kind of respected their opinion. I've just been like, this is not a good look in my opinion. Like, I mean, Kanye, but like, Kanye lost my respect a long time ago. J. Cole.
It's just the whole thing. After, no matter how bad someone was, there's always, you have to respect the dead.
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all.
Me neither. There's a lot of like, in my opinion, archaic respect rules. How people will be like, "Oh, always respect your elders, no matter what they do." And I was like, I'm definitely not gonna respect them if they don't respect me, and if they're shitty people, I'm also not gonna respect them. Like, and also, there's just so many dumb, arbitrary rules or norms, I guess there technically are, where you need to behave a certain way in this certain situation, even though it might be to the detriment of yourself or others or something, or you're paying respect to someone who really doesn't deserve it. Yeah. Like, countless shitty people who have died, everyone's like, oh, don't speak ill of the dead. Like, why not? Like, who the fuck cares?
That's a religious sounding sort of thing. It's taboo. Like, the spirit's gonna get you.
I think it really does stem from something religious. Yeah. Like, it's developed over like hundreds of years where like, if you say shit about the dead, like, their ghosts will come back to haunt you.
Because it's almost like someone wrote that down in whatever version of the Bible so that they knew that no one could talk shit about them after they died. Yeah. So they didn't have to defend themselves. It's like, okay,
but why also, like, why do you care? You're dead. Well, I guess, I don't know. People were fucking weird and superstitious, but I just don't subscribe to a lot of that stuff. I think you can talk ill of the dead. I mean, people certainly do if it's, someone that wasn't particularly popular. Like, if XXXTentacion didn't make good music, everyone would probably hate him, Like, if he just made really shitty music, no one would give a shit. If, you know, your grandparents were shitty people, you don't have to respect them. Like, I wouldn't. Like, there's plenty of situations where I think old-ass cultural norms should just be tossed out the window. And, you know, some people might think differently, and I honestly think they just need to come around to a more, not necessarily modern way of thinking, but more rational, because those old ways of thinking seem to be locked into some weird, arbitrary way of thinking about death and respect and traditions and things like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just like annoying. Why, if someone has like lived terribly and done awful shit, why are you not allowed to? Like, why is it considered taboo? It's just so annoying. Like,
people talk shit about Hitler all the time. Like, no one's ever like, hey, don't speak ill of the dead, you know?
People will do that.
Yeah. So, like, fucking... Well, I mean, okay. But it's not like a widespread thing.
He had personal problems and demons that he was working out. He made mistakes, sure.
I bet...
Shut up.
Yeah. I bet there's a non-zero number of people that would say that about, like, fucking Hitler or something.
So, the new Boku no Hero Academia is really good.
Are you really switching over to an anime discussion right now?
Yeah, because this topic is boring.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm sorry I bored you with my topic.
It's so good. Also, The Incredibles 2 is pretty good as well.
So talk to me about, one, I didn't think you would be a big anime fan.
Why?
You just don't strike me as that kind of person. You strike me as...
I'm not a weeb.
If anything, you strike me as the kid who would stay up late watching Adult Swim. And you would watch, like, Metalocalypse and...
I hate that show.
Really? Yeah, it is kind of weird.
It's
and,
bad.
What's the one with the talking fast food?
I hate that one too. Aqua Teen Hunger
Aqua
Force.
Teen
No, there's
Hunger
one
Force.
clip that made me laugh. It's like, you disrespect the words of the mighty Jimmy. That says the Bible.
But you watched... Wait, you did watch Harvey Birdman, though.
I love Harvey Birdman.
Okay,
but that's
that's
such a weird, like, niche sense of humor on that show.
Yeah, that show's
Harvey
really
Birdman.
That show's really quality. Did you ever watch... this is a newer show, but it's actually pretty good, but Mike Tyson Mysteries or whatever?
Nope. That looked really dumb.
It's actually...
It would be cringy.
It is weirdly good. There's like a talking pigeon character, and it works out well. I don't know why. I've seen a few episodes.
Because Mike Tyson, like, famously loves pigeons.
Yes.
And he would, like, whenever he would stay in a hotel, he'd have a separate room rented out for his pigeons.
Yeah.
That's
Wait, really?
Weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's extensive.
It was on I don't remember. I've been watching a lot of British talk shows, just like searching for more clips of David Mitchell, and he's this funny, hilarious British guy. And one of them he was on, it was like, I don't know, to find out if it was true or not. Like, that was the idea. And then they said, it's like, Mike Tyson once rented out a room and, you know, in a hotel, and had a separate room dedicated solely to his pigeons. And then they were like, false. That's definitely false because that's crazy. And then they were like, here's the video. And then Mike Tyson showed the camera through his, like, sea of pigeons, and he was like, as you can see, I have pigeons here. Yeah.
I wonder what that would be like for the hotel staff. And how many pigeons did he even have? Was it like 2 or was it like 50?
How much?
pigeons?
There's so many fucking pigeons. It's like having goldfish.
They would just like shit everywhere. Oh my god.
Most birds would. I don't know why you think pigeons would shit more than other birds.
It would smell so fucking bad in that room. Like, that would be a nightmare. God.
That's a weird thing.
That's like the first thing I think of when like dealing with animals is like, where are they going to go to the bathroom?
No, you thought of that because they're pigeons, and pigeons are synonymous with shitting on cars.
Okay, well, yeah. I feel like that's a totally normal reaction.
You're a racist.
I'm not discriminating against pigeons.
You're a racist.
They have a reputation for a reason.
What was the thing that Trump did this morning or whatever? He was like, actually, I don't think families should be separated or whatever.
I've like dealt with this all week at work, and it's been the most frustrating and annoying thing.
All right, I'll explain it then.
I feel like I have to.
There's a
explain it.
bunch of pens, like fence pens, and a bunch of people are being forced into like pseudo internment camps instead of, you know, while they're being processed in the anti-immigration, the ICE thing at the border, and they're being separated like some. Oh, did you see that fucking clip of what's his name? They were like saying like, And there was this case of a little girl with, who had cerebral palsy or whatever, who was separated from her mom.
Down syndrome,
and her mom got sent back to Mexico. She was still in the U.S. and completely helpless. And then the guy said, "Womp womp."
Yeah,
on air.
Yeah.
What?
That was insane. That was Corey Lewandowski, Donald Trump's former campaign manager.
Scum.
And he was like, "Womp womp," and the guy who was telling the story was like,
mad,
"What the?"
But his
fuck?
voice almost made
How
it sound
dare
like he didn't care. His voice kind of like threw me off because it sounded like he was he was acting like.
He kept saying, "How
I feel like
dare?"
there should be genuine rage that you get from that, but his voice just sounded so weird.
Yeah,
he was like, "How dare you, sir?"
He kept saying, "How dare you?" And
weird.
I'm just like, "You should say something else besides how dare you."
Hey, how about you go fuck yourself?
That sounds, yeah, exactly. That sounds like such an old timey insult. How dare you, sir? Like,
but
you're
it was like very
the fabric of society. Like, we are well
properly.
Past the precious
You're cutting
fabric
in and out
of society.
You fucking think so much.
It must be my, I don't know, internet.
It must be your.
It's probably fine because you're good for me, so I don't really care. So what? Anyways, what I was about to say was
But yeah, that's fucked up. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, this whole situation was of Trump's doing.
Shapiro's talking about it. All these annoying people.
Don't listen. Everyone keeps saying don't listen to what the other people are telling you, but I promise you that this is 100% true. I do this shit for a living. All this shit happened. Kids being put in detention centers, whatever you want to call it, happened because of Donald Trump's policy and the invention of cages as well. Donald Trump invented cages, and he was like, "This is what we will put the children in," and he put all of them in there, and that's where we are. But really, he announced a policy that required all adults crossing the border to be prosecuted, including adults with children. So in order for those adults to be prosecuted, they need to have their children taken away from them. So that's why they separated them from their families and caused this huge fucking problem that is just a huge clusterfuck. And after days of people freaking the fuck out and being like, "You gotta fucking not do this," eventually he backed up and signed an executive order canceling this, even though he could have just reversed the original policy he put in. I don't know. He made a big show of it to seem like he was solving the problem and being this great leader, even though it was a problem he fucking started. Trump is like the ultimate fucking gaslighter. Like, he'll say, yeah, do you know what a gaslighter is? Like an abusive relationship?
Oh, that's that word that I didn't understand.
It's someone that, like, tries to make you feel crazy, to manipulate you. Like, they'll say, like, "Oh, you should go brush your teeth." And you'll be like, "Oh, I already did brush my teeth." I'm like, "No, the brush is dry. You need to go brush your teeth. You're lying to me." And you're like, "What? What are you talking about?" And you basically just do that enough in so many different situations that you start to doubt yourself. And
I don't understand that at all. That's still so weird. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Donald Trump is basically like, this policy basically started off saying this policy is good for America and the kids are not being held in internment camps. And then they said this policy is the fault of the Democrats. And then they said there actually is no policy doing this. And then he eventually was like, "Yeah, this is bad. I'm going to sign it away and solve all these problems." So, yeah, ultimate fucking liar and gaslighter. Pretty typical and frustrating. And I can already feel my fucking chest bursting with rage.
I just know that fucking comes up a lot on r/relationships or whatever.
Gaslighting, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
People are fucking psychiatrists on Reddit. They're like, if someone posts about like, "Yeah, my girlfriend looked at me yesterday and I waved and she didn't wave back," and then another person will be like, "It's a toxic relationship. You gotta get out of there. That's a red flag."
There's a lot of, for the most part, I will say actually, r/relationships has like pretty good advice, and like they'll tell the OP if they're being shit or if shit is their fault. Those are my favorite threads, is when the poster is doing something wrong and everyone's just like, "You're fucking weird, dude." Like, there was this post of this guy who asked a coworker out on a lunch date, but it wasn't really a lunch date. It was just like a friendly lunch outing. And he was complaining like, "She left with another guy. Like, what the hell? I don't understand. I thought this was like a fucking date. That's so rude. Is she still interested? How do I? And he was like describing all these tiny interactions they had. She was like, she walked by my office later and said thanks for lunch, and I was like, what does this mean? Is she into me? And everyone was like, calm the fuck down, dude. It was definitely not a lunch date if she didn't care that much.
I used to be like that though. Like man, it's this person against me. Like absolute nice guy when I was like 13.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
That's
So
fucking.
I mean, everyone in my school was like that. I was just like a result of my environment.
I feel like everyone had a little bit of nice guyishness in them when they
That makes
were
it sound
more
like I was like
immature.
slapping people, but like it was just
Yeah.
like in my head, like, oh, it's the world against me. It's not me being weird and skulking around the school saying nothing and staring at the floor. It's them. They have the problem.
No, absolutely. I think that's a normal, relatable thing. As long as you weren't fucking like being an asshole about it and like trying to act superior.
Oh,
That
God.
that mentality is only a problem when, you know, let's say someone you perceive as being popular or another
God,
comes
I
up
did
to
that
you
too.
and they're just like,
I did that so
hey man, I
much.
see you're wearing like a Foo Fighters t-shirt or something. I really like the Foo Fighters. And you're just like, oh yeah? Name 5 of their songs. Like that stereotypical shit.
Because you want to, for one moment, for one brief moment, have
Yeah.
something over them.
You're like just hardcore gatekeeping basically.
It's a lot of that.
The
There's
thing
a lot
is-
of people
yeah.
like that.
The thing is, I would genuinely do shit like that, like when I was younger, and like other kids would too. They'd just be like, "Oh, you like Eminem? Name 5 of his songs. You don't even know shit." And I'm just like, "But I just like this one song I heard on the radio. I don't know. I'm sorry."
Yeah, people who lack the feeling of superiority and lust after it. So in any moment where they think that they can, you know, just climb a little bit above them in whatever, it's not going to matter that you know more of the Foo Fighters songs, but it will matter to you because you feel like you won. It's like,
Yeah,
won what?
exactly.
What?
Scariest shit is the people who never grew out of that, and that same mentality applies to things, but things that like actually kind of matter. So like in relationships, they'll just constantly be super shitty to all of their friends and all of their potential like significant others and stuff, and they'll just be like, "So, honey, how was your day at work?" It was like, "Oh, it was good. You know, I did a good job, and my boss rewarded me and like thanked me for it." And you're like, "Oh yeah, well." Today, I single-handedly finished the biggest project in the company's history and got a fucking blowjob from everyone in the office.
And everyone claps.
And then everyone claps when
People
I
who
orgasmed.
do that
It was
shit
amazing.
are my favorite. People who make up stories that are so clearly fake because they've never had a good experience in their life as a result of other people because they never talk to anybody. So they have this imagined experience of what it's like to win in public, and they get like, and then the professor said you should teach the class. It's like, oh, okay, but then I walked up to him and pulled his pants down because I'm the boss, and it was epic. Oh God, man!
I remember used to
so many
use
people like that.
terminology like fail and epic.
That one email that we got last week was a little bit like that.
Did you? This kind of reminds me of I've only met a few people in my life
Wow.
who are genuine. Yeah, like 3 tops. It's pretty crazy. Who
I
are
only leave the house every 3 years.
yeah, who are I've only ever met a few people who are genuine serial liars, who like are just lying out of their ass and genuinely trying to like get you to believe them, but the lies are so ridiculous that it's just impossible. Like I can't believe the shit they're selling me. Basically,
What are you talking about?
there was this one girl I went to high school with. Did you have homeroom or advisory or something in high
Yeah,
school?
we had a couple different things because there was a bunch of changes every year.
Yeah, basically there was this one girl in my homeroom, and we were friends for a while, and I thought she was nice. And eventually she just gets like worse and worse. There must have been a bunch of little lies over the years that I never noticed, but it came out really badly, like during senior year, where she lied to everyone and said that she got into Harvard. And this girl, to put it nicely, is not Harvard material, like at all. Like she is not that smart. So she lied to everyone and said that she got into Harvard. And she said this before the Harvard decisions even came out officially. And when people would be like, "Oh, how did you get in? That's pretty crazy. Like even like the smartest kids in school couldn't do that." And she's like, "Oh, haha, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Hispanic or something." And I'm just like, what? Like, if you have
affirmative action that it works.
I'm like, if you have a lie, like, at least come up with like a better way to sell it.
Obama came to my house and he was like,
yeah,
you know what?
Personally came to my house and fucking signed a letter for me.
And I told him my favorite joke, and he was like, "We need more people like you."
That girl was just fucking crazy. There was a bunch of other stuff that I can't even remember now because it was all just a bunch of baloney and bullshit. But that was the worst thing. And she just said it to my face too. I'd like been hearing it from other people, just being like, "Oh yeah, she was going around telling people she got into Harvard." And I'm like, "Oh really? That's weird." And I sat next to her in one of my classes, and I was like, "So how's the college application thing going?" She was like, "Oh good. You know, I'm gonna go to. I got into Harvard, but I don't know if I'm gonna go there." And I'm like, really? Let me pull up my sleuthing glasses real quick and ask you a quick couple of questions about that. Have you ever had
to find out?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really call her out on it because I didn't care and I didn't want to.
Seems like you've cared a lot over the last few years. If you seem to remember this in such zeal.
I mean, no, this is just like one example that was like particularly egregious and interesting. Have you met any fucking serial liars that are just outrageous? I'm sure you have. Are you?
I am.
I think
nothing serious, but I lie.
But you don't do it to. The thing is,
negatively affect people. No. Well,
the thing is, she was doing it to boost her own ego.
No, fuck that.
It's like boost her own.
Because my life is already so spectacularly interesting that any anecdote that I pull up would already throw the pants off anybody. So
I feel like
I don't need to lie.
You just lie. If you lie
because I enjoy
out of convenience to yourself or to enjoy like fucking with people. Like if you. I'm assuming if you don't want to go somewhere.
I sent you someone I knew in like freshman year of high school just recently messaged me on Tinder and they were like, "What's up?" And I was yeah, and it was a little back and forth and she was like, yeah, I'm this person and we had this class together. I was like, I don't remember you. I did remember her. But for some reason, I decided I would say I didn't. I'm such an asshole. But I was just like, I was playing.
Like you didn't think twice about it too.
No, it was no hesitation at all. And then like basically, I used Tinder to send people insane, psychotic messages. Where it's like someone I sent one recently.
About getting a turtle.
About getting a turtle. I wonder if I can even find that.
It's probably really recent.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh yeah, I found it if you want me to read it.
Oh yeah, this person named whatever. I said, "What's up, sexy?" And I said, "Not much, just skinned a turtle." And he said, "Huh?" And I said, "I removed the skin of a turtle with a ruler." And he said, "Ha ha 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 ha. Okay, what are you looking for?" And I said, "A knife. Skinning the turtle would be way easier."
They responded,
and I thought that was funny, but they didn't laugh. They said, "This is really weird."
I mean, if I had got us unsolicited messages like that from someone I had matched with on Tinder, I definitely would have been like, this person's fucking crazy. Like, you know it's a joke, but if I was that person, I was like, this guy is a fucking serial killer.
Oh yeah, but we kept talking to each other, me and this girl that I knew or whatever, and I said, "Yeah, I don't remember you," and then she was like, "Oh, that's too bad. I remember that you had really bad handwriting," and I was like,
no, and she said she remembered you being colorblind.
Oh yeah, she remembered that I was colorblind, and I thought that was funny that she only remembered that I had terrible penmanship and that I was colorblind, and that was it. That was all she remembered. And eventually she was just like, "So how are you?" And I'm like, "Not good." And then she said, "Why?" And I said, "Someone killed my dog." And I was waiting for her to say that's not funny or something like that to detect the fact that I would be lying, and I wouldn't like. Why would I tell anyone that? That's weird. But she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, I can't continue with this because if I say I'm not serious, then she's going to be like, "You're a fucking psycho."
And you haven't heard from her since.
No, I haven't responded.
God. I definitely would have, like, if I was her, I was like, wow, I regret reaching out to this kid immediately.
He's insane.
Yeah, he literally just devolved and, like, turned into this insane dog killer.
He immediately brought up the fact that someone murdered his pet.
God.
I'm so... Oh, my God.
See, okay. Has anyone ever done that to you, though? And you should be able to recognize it pretty easily, then, so if you know... Like just serial lying, like lying.
I'm pretty good at it.
Like are you a good bullshit sniffer?
I don't sniff any kind of shit, but I'm able to detect if someone's being a fibber.
Fibber? Are you good fibber sniffer? That almost sounds like a slur.
It's mostly that. I can't think. Maybe like the last time I've detected a lie, but it's usually just I don't remember. I have a specific reaction that usually works, but I don't remember how it happens. I can't remember the last time I've like actually caught someone in a lie and said something about it.
The thing is, I'm really bad with confrontation, so even if I catch someone in a lie, I usually will just be like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
If I know
sure.
them well, then I'm gonna be like, "That's not true. This is the truth." But if it's like some random person, if it is a lie but it's not affecting me, then I won't say anything. I just don't care. I'm not a detective. I don't have to solve everybody's problems.
I was trying to come up with another hypothetical for you, but I knew I wouldn't be able to come up with a good one that would make any sense.
Because I would say something reasonable, and that made you mad last time. You were like, "Whoa, why don't you say something wacky and crazy like you normally do?" Because I'm not an insane person.
Well, actually, we've established that you are an insane person.
No.
That you killed your dog.
That's not what I said. I said someone killed my dog.
Yeah. And it was you.
No.
I'm sure you would have followed that up with
in the plot line that I was making up. It was a thief.
A thief killed your dog.
And my dog jumped into action, but it was too slow, and then he hit it in the head with a crowbar. And then planted a note on the dog's corpse that said, "If you want your PB&J back, you know where to find me, but I don't know where to find him, so I'll never find it." I don't know why he broke into my kitchen because he just made one PB&J. It wasn't like... I don't even like PB&J. I don't know when he took the fucking shittiest ingredients. If he had made a bagel sandwich with turkey and cheese, then I'd been like, "Fuck you, bitch," and then leapt into the night.
Bagel sandwiches are my favorite fucking food in the world.
I like bagels.
Sausage,
people get fucking so snooty about that shit. It's like, "Oh, you gotta get a New York bagel." It's like, no, because of their Thomas bagels.
Okay, well, to be honest, there's a world of difference between Thomas bagels and like a bagel you can get fresh from a bakery. For some reason, Thomas bagels are incredibly like just soft, and they feel like regular sliced.
You make a bagel 800 any kind of bread. You make it 900 times better by cooking it in some way. In a toaster,
100%.
In a frying pan with some butter. So I'm not gonna eat a what I consider raw bagel because that's gross and it's soft and chewy and gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to go to like fucking New York, New Jersey, or whatever the fuck to get a good bagel. There's plenty of fine bagel bakeries all around the country. There's a few around here that I love and go to all the time. For some reason, people are super picky about New York tap water being involved in the bagel making process. Who cares? It's tap water. I can make my bagels with fucking Fiji water.
It's got to have nut hairs from the baker on it. I want to know that he took his big, stupid, meaty hands and really rang that dough. And if I don't know that, it's not a real bagel.
I'd like to say that I think most things from New York and about New York are overrated.
Completely overblown.
Very overrated.
I think they should demolish all the buildings. That's kind of in poor taste because 9/11, but they should demolish all the buildings.
You're on a list.
Not with a plane, with a construction team that is specifically anyway, whatever. And they just demolish most of the buildings
in an organized, legal
all
fashion,
the shit, and just maybe let some breathing room in. Why is this fucking thing vibrating?
Your earpiece is vibrating.
Yeah, it's vibrating with my voice. It's bothering me.
There's an earthquake going on. But I would agree. New York is too big, and I would argue that most of the boroughs are really just suburbs. Staten Island, definitely a suburb. Don't care what anyone says. It's a suburb. It's just too expensive for the shit you get. You can get literally a broom closet and be charged like $2,000 a month for it.
Yeah, that's a joke on the internet. It's just like, what do you want for rent? It's like someone takes a picture of like an egg carton in New York. It's just like, that's $2,500 a month.
The thing is like it's not like that far off from the truth either.
It's not. I lived there. It was so bad.
It's fucking crazy. Like, you have to move to Brooklyn and like I don't know, deep Brooklyn to even. I really like Brooklyn too. To get like regular city expensive.
I was in Bushwick though, so it was like a hipster place.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such bullshit and
a lot of what's the word? When white people come buy houses.
Gentrification.
There you go. A lot of that.
Yeah, and that's only making shit more expensive. So, but gentrification's happening everywhere. I'm like,
I wish that worked with like my property because I want my things to be more expensive because I'm closer to them.
That's literally.
If you just give me like a steak that you made and I hold on to it, does it become more valuable because I'm holding it?
Maybe if you were famous enough, yeah.
Let me stay in your house a couple nights and raise the value.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if your house is actually appreciated in value since your parents bought it.
The last family that lived here was white as well, so.
Yeah, so you're all set.
What?
Because that means your
It's
house
not a
is
stacking buff. It's just the one resident has to be. It doesn't. I don't even know why we're talking about
Yeah.
that.
What I'm saying is,
In this
your house
hypothetical world where the vicinity of a white person to a structure makes it 9,000 times more valuable, even though that is true.
the unfortunate reality of the world is that is like kind of true.
It is, but it's not the fact that they walked in. It's like, oh, there are white people in this neighborhood, so the realtor will charge more for the houses.
That's actually 100% true. Yeah, that is definitely a thing. Back when this happened, like as far back ago as like the 90s, like realtors would like refuse to show black families houses in certain neighborhoods.
Also, that's like when people say, "Oh, there's no racism," is like just the kind that you're talking about. Perhaps that doesn't exist as much, like the kind where a policeman will just run up and throw someone off a bridge, and then everybody claps.
Like super on the nose racism.
Yeah, that may not happen as much anymore. I mean, it definitely does happen quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
especially these days,
not as much as like the 50s. But the kind that hurts people is not being able to get a business license. Because you can't, like, they just like, oh, we ran out of business licenses and a loan for like if you want to open a bakery.
We ran out of money to loan. There's no more money.
All the banks
We're actually
are
shutting
closed.
down. We're shutting down forever.
That's the kind of shit that hurts people, and that's where it exists. I don't know why I brought it up now, but
Systemic
like
racism.
that's like exactly the thing that people say is like, oh, there's no, it's a paradise in my white suburb where no black people exist. I know from experience of meeting no black people ever.
That's why I fucking hate people, especially like Candace Owens, who are like, the only thing holding black people back are black people's mentality. I was like, bitch,
your
take
debt
a history
is a
class.
fucking mental state.
Like, I just want to like sit her down and just like open up a textbook for her and just be like, so here is when all these black people were denied the ability to buy houses after World War II, and people built wealth off of those
Harlem
houses.
Hellfighters, that whole thing.
Yeah, so all those people that could buy houses and go to school with a GI Bill, a lot of the time black people were not able to use that because of regular old racism.
Cashed it in because if it was a little more south of the border of Alabama, then it was just like, no, goodbye. I fucking hate you.
So that was fucking bullshit, and that has spread throughout generations to the point where white people always have a bunch of wealth in the form of like land and property.
Yeah, and they fucking like a white dude will be like, he'll go on Twitter and he'll see is like some person tweeting white people suck, and then they'll be like, I don't suck, I don't suck, and then he'll see like people like marching outside, and then they'll look in and say like, yeah, you don't suck, pick up this tiki torch and come with us.
My fucking favorite, and by favorite I mean like worst shit in the world, is when dumbass people are like, white privilege? You want to talk about white privilege?
I'm poor.
I grew up in a single family household.
We had one string.
Eating dirt for dinner every day.
I ate shorts.
Like, you want to tell me about white privilege? I'm like, yes, because you can still interact with a police officer and not get shot just for the color of your skin.
It's just that stuff. Like, there's a lot of actual genuine racism that's like on the nose, like you said, but there's also a lot of like one level deep stuff that people just pass off as just like, nah, that's a conspiracy. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's just the level of stupid people in this world like never ceases to amaze me. And I don't know if it's that we're progressively getting dumber, or it's just that there's so many fucking people in the world that statistically there will always be a decent amount of stupid people. Like, this is terrible. I saw a picture of it was a screenshot of a Facebook picture of this kid in like a cage, like we were just talking about, and it was like, how can you people like stand for this? Like, this is terrible. This is not who we are. And a bunch of people were commenting like, hell yeah, it is. Get damn illegals out of here. Punt them back over the border. I don't care. And I'm just like, you are all such heartless and stupid people. It is incredible. I would punch you over the border if I could. Like, I just want to line them all up, Charlie Brown style, across the Texas-Mexico border, get my cleats on, set up a field goal, and have a day
It's
of it.
funny that you picked Charlie Brown because you'd miss in that analogy.
Okay, I'm Lucille actually.
Lucille Ball?
No, Lucy, the girl who holds the ball.
Why'd
and
you
then
call her
sometimes kicks the
Lucille,
ball.
you idiot?
I thought it was Lucille.
You have no idea how Charlie Brown works.
You really pick. Yeah, I really don't. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date.
Your
on
lack
Charlie
of
Brown
fucking
lore.
awareness on this subject is staggering.
You see, actually, in Charlie Brown issue number 72, Charlie Brown
Issue?
actually
It's
did-
not a comic book, you fool. Alright, I don't care.
the fucking Charlie Brown mega.
But it's
fans,
not. It's not like you're talking about it like a comic book. It's Charlie Brown. The issue that he has in this, like, this is his issue today. Like issue number 902. Why do people like bagels so much?
I like Charlie Brown's monologues to himself. No, it's Snoopy that monologue to himself. You're right. I actually don't know how Peanuts works at all.
Sometimes I'll watch videos like I don't know, like fucking.
Sometimes you watch videos.
Joe Rogan owns feminism.
I hate Joe Rogan.
Destroys
I hate
feminism
all
in
that
30
so much.
seconds or
I
something
want
like
to
that.
fucking punch my monitor.
He's
every
funny,
time I see that.
and he seems like not completely insane. So I like watching his interviews sometimes. Mostly his UFC.
I like it when they're not
commentaries.
about politics because he's just a huge.
I
dumbass.
like watching his, like, when he talks about, like, oh, like he got the guy who was attacked by a bear on his show.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there the bear was, and it doesn't have any politics in it. It's just
Yeah,
like
I
him
like it when
talking
he
to a
talks
guy.
about survival shit and like outdoorsy shit.
MMA,
It's
all
really
that stuff. It's really interesting. He's a genuinely funny, interesting guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of dumb sometimes. But yeah, like I'll like out of like almost morbid curiosity, just to see how bad it is, I will watch on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever, a video like you know, fucking professor owns feminist student in 30 seconds. And it's just like, oh my god, so much viciousness was created in that title. He barely got through it before he was like, ah!
I like hate that shit so much. I think it's hilarious that
It is, but then after I watch it, I'll be like, that's fucking stupid. And then I'll go back to my regular YouTube and I'll see that it's recommended another one of those videos. And I'll be like, oh god. And then later on, after I've watched a few different videos, like one will autoplay and it'll happen to be another one of those. So now it has more information to say that I like those videos and I would like to see 800 of them every day. And it's really annoying.
See, I fucking hate that shit because YouTube's watch algorithm can sometimes be pretty good. Sometimes it shows me videos of stuff I actually care about. Like, I've discovered new channels like Life Noggin that I otherwise would have never watched, or Real Life Lore, for example. But then, sometimes my sister gets on my YouTube account because it's hooked up to our TV, and she'll watch like a million Shane Dawson conspiracy theory videos, and then all I have in my recommended page for the next week, 2 weeks, whatever, is, did 9/11 really happen? Or we never actually landed on the moon? Or here's the secret robot society that's living on Mars planning to invade Earth. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, this is all the dumbest bullshit I did not need to see. And the thing is that, like, when I talked to my sister about this, I don't know if she actually believes it, because I kind of believed in, like, some conspiracy theories as a kid for fun. Like, I kind of bought into the whole we didn't land on the moon thing for a little bit there. Just to feel smart, I guess. But I think my sister actually thinks the Illuminati is real. And that they, like, control all the world powers.
I would like to believe that because I hope someone's in charge at this point.
I don't know if I would be more afraid if someone was secretly controlling all the world's powers and purposely creating this
secretly
chaos.
is kind of... How secret is the U.S. government? That's kind of a secret organization.
I mean, we know it exists and we know it runs things, at least.
And
So-
you could say the same about the Illuminati.
We don't know it exists.
Do you not?
We don't, actually.
Have
no.
you been inside the buildings and, like, are you aware that everybody who's in control ostensibly is in control?
Well, I think that's what I'm getting at, is that I don't know if the president is actually in control or if he's secretly being controlled by someone behind the scenes.
It's like
That being the Illuminati.
the things that you sort of trust and people. That's why the flat earther thing is like, if you haven't gone to space yourself and seen that Earth is a sphere, then you are, you know, you're just sort of buying into the propaganda or whatever. And there are some things that are like that. Yeah, I think you should absolutely go, you know, do your own footwork and research for stuff like that. But you have to, at the end of the day, accept the reasonable, you know, assumption that you cannot discover all of the previous discoveries yourself to find out if it's true. because you can't go to space and find out if it's actually a sphere. You can't go to Congress and like pick under the floorboards and find the Illuminati entrance. You can't do that because it's just too much effort. And it's impossible. So you have to at one point decide, all right, either I decide to be an insane person who doesn't believe anything anybody tells me because I haven't seen it myself in person, or I can just be a reasonable human being.
Agreed. I think it's funny that I know we were talking about this on Xbox about how Metal Gear Solid's story is fucking crazy and ridiculous, and you don't give a shit.
Very anime.
It is very anime, but there's a group in Metal Gear Solid that plays a substantial role called the Patriots, and they are basically the Illuminati. They say basically this group has gone by multiple different names throughout history. The Illuminati, like a bunch of other fucking names I don't remember.
The guy who's really jacked who fights Ryu, the guy who has a sword.
Raiden.
Yeah,
I love Raiden.
Have you checked the internet lately? The memes.
The thing is, okay, so Metal Gear Solid 2, which Raiden was actually in, that shit came out in like 2002.
That game
came out
really
shortly after
dumb,
9/11.
But the cutting physics was fun as fuck.
Oh no, that's Rising Revengeance. That's
so good.
But the original game Raiden was in, when he didn't have a sword, came out in like 2002, and they start talking about memes. But before memes were what memes we think of as today, like internet pictures, basically.
Yo.
Memes back then meant something else, and I never really learned what they were. So that whole time, these serious people were talking about like the memes of war, and I'm just like, the what?
Your mission is to infiltrate the jungle and capture all of the monkeys.
Capture all of them.
All those clips that Donkey pulled from like his Metal Gear Solid video, just talking about how people hate him. It's just like, no, they're good. You're really dumb.
God. I personally love those games, but that's a whole different conversation we'll not get into. But have you ever believed in a conspiracy theory? Do you think there's one that's most likely to be true? Because I have one.
I hope there's aliens.
Oh, I don't think that's a conspiracy theory.
Here, but
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's definitely happened. I think it's definitely happened. Well, one, above all, they definitely exist.
Okay,
absolutely.
Here's the question, though. If there was an alien that crashed, what's the benefit of any government, sovereign or homeland, to keep it from us? What's the benefit?
I think you would automatically get hysteria, public hysteria.
Really?
Well, one, look at the fucking people already freaking out about regular illegal immigrants. Now imagine if we had an extraterrestrial person just like arrive on Earth. People would think it's actually like secretly trying to wage war or like secretly poison us or all this other stupid bullshit.
Like in the movie with Jeremy Renner and that woman.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember
the one
movie.
With the little the little stone thing that flies down. Arrival.
Oh,
that movie's great for just sort of amazing. Simulating what it would be like, what the response from the government would be.
100%. That movie so actually real. Is perfect because there was a whole scene where a soldier was watching some like far right InfoWars type video saying like the aliens are here to destroy America or whatever, literally, and that's why they fucking bombed the alien ship. I was like, damn. The thing is that would actually happen because like those people are fucking crazy and ridiculous.
Yeah, but it was hard for me to believe. That was one of the weirdest points in the movie where it took the fucking broadcast of that show to push that Marine who's betraying his entire life, 27 years old, to like decide for himself that he'll blow up a fucking spaceship.
Oh, I don't think that was like the deciding factor. I think it just showed you what kind of a guy he was.
You could replace that scene with like him looking at a picture of his daughter and then looking out at the spaceship and being like sweaty and being like, okay, and then like that would be better than him watching fucking Alex Jones and having be like, oh, this guy's fucking right. I'll go get the C4.
I don't think it's that simple, but
it looked like that in the movie.
Okay. But that's the shit that would happen if an alien actually arrived here. Like immediately.
Didn't China attack theirs?
Yes.
Or Russia or whatever.
That was in the movie. Yeah. That movie was so good. Then they like go back in time and something, or like time is a circle. I don't remember how it works, but yes, aliens definitely exist, and I think I would like to think that we have already made contact with aliens somehow. I would like to be President Trump just for one day, not to, well, I would fix some shit while I'm there, but not to like find out how the war in the Middle East is going, not to find out the secrets to America's wealth, whether or not there's gold in Fort Knox. I would want to know.
I don't think they told him fucking anything.
Really?
I don't even think, like, there was the infamous black book or whatever that all presidents get a hand on. Can you imagine, like, I mean, I get we have a system of election, but there are surely people who are, like, smart and generally accepted as wise who work there permanently, and they're just like, all right, this president's a fucking idiot. Let's just keep shit from him. He doesn't get the nuke buttons. He can say that he has them to keep up appearances, but he doesn't get the real ones. This is the fucking that was easy button from Staples.
See, the thing is, I think that's, like, theoretically possible, but the president also brings in a lot of his own staff and handpicks a lot of the people that would run those things. So, like, CIA, NSA, Department of Homeland Security, all that stuff, like, he picks the people that runs those things. So he would have to know. Unless, like, even the bosses he picks don't know. You're basically diving into the whole, like, deep state conspiracy thing, which is a bunch of bullshit, you know, and I don't want to, like, feed that, so I'm not going to bother. The people who think that the president is being undercut by the deep state government.
There is someone undercutting him.
It would be comforting to if there was, like, a deep state that was actually, like, curbing all of his crazy shit, but then also I don't want to give fuel to the fire or give crazy conspiracy theories any credit.
What does deep state mean? Underground or something?
It just means, like, a secret group within the government that's actually controlling things.
Why does it have to be deep?
Because it's fucking really far underground. There's a bunker underneath a tree in a park somewhere, and you have to climb a ladder that's 50 feet long. You know that Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder scene where you climb a ladder for 5 minutes? And
that thing that Donkey cuts to every fucking
video? Yeah. It's exactly that. I fucking love that shit. But yeah, it's exactly that. That's what the deep state is.
From Papa John.
Did you ever end up buying your Donkey mug or whatever?
I did. Not a mug. It was a shirt.
Or a t-shirt?
Should be here in the next 2 weeks.
I don't think I would get something to wear. I would get something like a mug or, I don't know, something fun. Like
I feel like Donkey is somehow obscure. Like, he's not like an annoying, ugly brand like PewDiePie or something like that. He's
the
more
thing
like
is,
sort of
when I got into Donkey...
What?
When I got into Donkey, he was already pretty popular, like millions of subscribers. Like, he is huge on the platform.
But it doesn't seem like that, does it?
Yeah, right? It still seems like he's like a simple...
He's off in the corner.
Yeah, not tainted by...
Not jerking off all over the place like the fucking Paul brothers.
Not tainted by whatever the fuck PewDiePie is doing. He doesn't say the N-word on a live stream multiple times or whatever.
People thought he was black for like 3 years.
When I first started watching Donkey, I legitimately thought he was black.
Yeah.
Legit. His voice is so deep and like of that character,
That's
I guess.
That's the joke in a lot of his fucking comments. There's like he'll say, I don't know, he'll cut to like a picture of a black person when he says like, so there I was, and it'll cut to some old black man, and it's just like, that's funny, Donkey.
He is actually of Puerto Rican descent.
My 2 aunts.
The conspiracy theory I would actually believe in, and I've always kind of like thought about this, I think there's something fishy about the JFK assassination.
Oh, fuck, I don't care. I honestly have never given a shit about fucking JFK. I'm sure he was a real cool guy, and he didn't deserve to be shot in the head. But I don't care that there might have been some weird wind or something that made the bullet travel upside down and in a zigzag pattern in his body.
But where did that wind come from, Patrick? You think it was just
care.
A windy day? You don't think that the CIA brought a wind machine to Dallas?
It was like
and used it to assassinate JFK.
Lee Harvey Oswald was being transported, and then some guy who owned a theater or whatever came out and shot him. His name was like something Valentine or something like that.
No, that was John Wilkes Booth.
What?
John Wilkes Booth, who killed Abraham Lincoln, was shot shortly after shooting Abraham Lincoln.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
Wait. Or might have happened.
There's a video of him being shot. Of Lee Harvey Oswald being shot. He's like led, like here's the door on one side, on the left side of the video, and then him in handcuffs being led towards that door, and then someone in the crowd.
Oh,
yeah. Shoot him,
right.
and then the crowd erupts and the video cuts. It's like
yeah,
old grainy footage. God. Lee Harvey Oswald was shot. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of questions that didn't get answered. Probably contributed to this conspiracy that someone would shoot him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, they're trying to keep him quiet.
it's pretty weird that
Why would the
everyone-
person who wants to silence the person who knows everything, who probably also knows everything themselves, show up to the place where they could easily be captured after shooting the guy that they are supposedly supposed to interrogate?
See, I'm looking at John Wilkes Booth right now, and John Wilkes Booth, yeah, he shot
Burned
Abraham
alive.
One,
in
I
a
can't
barn.
believe, I just can't believe fucking John Wilkes Booth just walked up behind Abraham Lincoln and shot him.
And then he
I
said Veni
can't-
Vidi Vici when he got on stage.
Yeah, John Wilkes Booth was killed when Union soldiers tracked him down to a
And
Virginia
burned
farm
alive in
12
a
days
barn.
after. Oh, so damn, he survived 12 days afterwards.
Yeah, he got the fuck away, man. Nobody was there. I mean, there was sure the soldier, a detail probably protecting the president outside the fucking opera house, but there wasn't an army ready to capture a would-be assassin.
Yeah. I think that there's some moments in history I would love to just witness firsthand. Like, and the weird thing is, it would like mostly be assassinations.
Why?
Like, just like what the reaction would be.
Is
Like,
there a
that's
rule
crazy,
against
'cause we've
changing
never-
him in this situation, or just witnessing?
No, just witnessing. I wouldn't change anything at all.
Mm.
I'm not a butterfly effect person. I don't want to do that.
I mean,
I
it's
would
not. People call it the butterfly effect, but that's just like the logical thing. It's like the butterfly
100%.
effect.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it only makes sense.
Things
like,
would be
rationally.
different if things were different. It was basically what the butterfly effect says.
Yeah. The thing is that it works in a weird way, but it works in a way that makes total sense. Where if you change one small thing, that small thing affects something else, affects something else,
Yeah, it's like a fucking math problem.
affects other things, and it like kind of just multiplies
If you
out
lower
words
one
through
of
time.
the integers slightly, and then you get through the end of the fucking problem, you can have an entirely different result than you would have
100%.
if you hadn't changed the number.
Yeah, and I think that's what's crazy about time travel. But I would love to go back and like witness the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, just to see what the reactions are, because that is such an unprecedented thing. I can't even imagine that happening today.
I would like to go back in
Anything
time
similar.
and kill all the people. No, not kill them. Like,
kill everyone.
Go
Go back to Adam and Eve, shoot them, just be like, humanity's not happening.
destroy all
Sorry.
the paperwork and stuff that was drawn up to create the Gotham show. And all the fucking DC shows on what's that fucking network?
The CW.
CW. Yeah, fuck that.
I would go back in time and make sure they never made Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I would stop.
Or just not give it to Brett Ratner. or
I
whatever
would.
that
I would
was.
stop Zack Snyder from getting involved with the DC
Oh my god,
universe.
get J.J. Abrams in like a fucking prison.
J.J. Abrams is like the fucking like safe choice to reboot everyone's franchise.
I
Give him
hate it.
Star Trek. Give him Star Wars. Give him Cloverfield. Just fucking go nuts.
His cinematography is like hit and miss. Like he'll have like
Yeah.
one of the most annoying shots that completely takes you out of it is a quick zoom because it makes it look like sports footage or something like that. And
Yeah.
he does that like 900 times in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It's like a picture of like the Millennium Falcon like on Jakku, going towards the tail end
The
of
quick
the crash
fixate
Imperial,
zoom. Yeah.
Star Destroyer.
I know
And
exactly.
he
what
does
you're
a
talking about.
like zooms in like this is a person recording the fucking thing. It's just like the
Yeah.
ugliest, most immersion breaking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
then he
never
did
knew how
Maz
to, like,
Kanata, the anus-eyed person.
yeah, it just like I never like could put a word to it, but that's exactly what it is. It just
Also, all
didn't
the
feel
fucking
like Star Wars in that
screen
movie.
shines or whatever they're called.
Oh, the
flares.
screen flare, yeah. But yeah, you're right. He is hit or miss. I would say he's a safe director. Like I've never seen an egregiously bad movie from J.J. Abrams. I've just seen like boring movies.
I can't really think of it because it's just so bland.
Star Trek Into Darkness was very boring.
Into dark. That fucking.
The second one with
No, the
Benedict
third
Cumberbatch.
one was so Beyond was so fucking boring. Oh my.
Well, he didn't
God.
direct that one. Beyond was better than Into Darkness.
No,
I
it
kinda
was
liked it.
boring.
Dude. I guess coming off of Into Darkness, I was like,
I
can't get
liked
much-
Inner Darkness,
I don't know.
and people
Well,
were like,
J.J.
"Oh,
Abrams
it's
didn't even
ruining
do
the
Beyond.
original series." It's like all 10 of you who've seen the original series. Shut
The
up.
thing is, I don't give a shit about Star Trek at all.
I like Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan a lot.
Yeah, that wasn't my,
My
issue. It
name
was just like,
Nice.
he was I was like, are you gonna sneeze or something? Like, should I like? Do you need a tissue really quick? Yeah, okay, that's enough ranting. Let's get to some fucking emails.
What?
This one's
It's like
yeah, it's an hour in, bitch.
59 minutes.
Wow, that's like when we usually start reading emails.
No.
Yeah. No. You know, Family Guy is kind of a shitty show, but one of my favorite running gags is just the Hispanic maid that just says,
I hate that shit too.
no.
Fuck that. I hate Family Guy so goddamn much.
No. All right, this is from Ellie. The thing is, we get emails sometimes pretty late at night, and I never see them until now because you always, like, clear them from my notifications.
Sorry, Dad.
All right. Hiya there, my dudes. A little bit ago, I left you guys a vaguely incoherent and rambling iTunes review while I was high and unsupervised. So, when you read it on the last podcast, I was quite shook as I did not remember leaving said review until it was suddenly read aloud to me in the middle of morning traffic. Anyways, I figured since it was pretty funny, at least to me, I'd get giraffe balls high again, but this time with supervision and write an email of my thoughts. As always, feel free to completely ignore this shit. Anyways, yeah, this is the stuff I came up with. What do you guys think about the fashion industry slash the Met Gala slash all that shiz, especially since Pat says he is part of the aforementioned industry?
So we're going to answer that first.
Yeah, we're going to answer that one
I
first.
hate it.
You hate it? Why do you hate it?
I hate those clothes so much.
You don't like the artistry of them.
Because it's no fun. It's always just like, this is a dress. It is the most dress in the universe. No one ever shows up like dresses at night. There might be some like very fancy, slightly weird headpiece that, like, Rihanna wore like the Pope's hat.
Yeah.
And she had like a 50-foot long like trail or whatever, train.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Train.
Like, those are interesting and neat, but have someone like dress up as, I don't know, I don't want to say like, oh, I just want cosplay. I mean, that would be really cool to see stars that
everyone just show up as cosplaying to the Met Gala.
To have the most devastatingly gorgeous and handsome individuals in the world dress up as interesting characters. I'll be, dead before that happens, but like, yeah.
I'm not huge into fashion. I think the Met Gala stuff can be kind of interesting, but it's never like something I obsess over. It's more just like, oh, cool. Like, you're wearing a particularly interesting looking outfit.
I like when someone wears something that makes everyone mad.
Yeah. I don't think was there anything like that this year? I mean, people were just mad that they were like adopting Catholic imagery or whatever, and I was like,
No, you're right.
Good. Catholics suck. As a Catholic, we suck. College. Is it worth it? Fun fact, I'm going to BU this fall. Never mind. Maybe I don't read on air, or do. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't read your last name, so that's okay. That's crazy that this person is gonna find me.
Should you go to college? I don't know.
I don't know how to react to that. This person is going to the same school as me, but we'll see how that works out. College, is it worth it? Depends what you're doing. It depends what your interests are. I would say college was worth it for me just for the hands-on experience I got. Journalism is a very different field than like traditional shit where you just read books all the time. Journalism is a lot more like, here's a camera, here's a notepad, go out into the world and tell a story. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And it's a lot of like talking to people and actually doing shit. And I really like that.
Networking.
Well, not really. Well, there are a lot of journalists on Twitter, but that's not really something you learn about, but that's besides the point. If you want to study like engineering or science shit, definitely important. But if you want to do art stuff, I would say don't get a degree.
You don't need one.
You don't need one.
Also,
just make your own stuff.
To everybody, but being told to draw something has never helped me draw.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's like creative flows are different and stuff, obviously, but I feel like for creative things, you shouldn't really limit yourself. The only benefit that colleges can provide,
trade schools,
is that trade schools are also good if you're
like looking to be.
Stuff.
I want to specifically be an electrician, or like I want to do like there was this internship my brother-in-law told me about where it was like you get paid to learn how to do the job while you're staying there, and then after you get your degree or whatever the thing is, and like the thing you're doing, it was like nuclear engineering for making destroyers. It was like a dry dock, and you learn how to do it on the base, and then you get on the ship and fix it like that. Like the moment you finish, it's like that sounds really cool, like just like a supply and demand thing. But I think actual college, if you're like doing a creative thing, Probably not the
Yeah.
best idea.
I mean, college can be beneficial for creative stuff in the fact that they can give you certain resources that you wouldn't have otherwise. But other than that, just like the classes itself, I find that the classes themselves aren't that worthwhile in college a lot of the time. It's more the resources, the networking, the connections you make.
Give
that
an
are more
example
valuable.
of a resource that you can't get without college.
Well, in an art example, a lot of art schools will give you free studio space and free, like a budget to get supplies for yourself.
But you're paying the tuition for a school that could be what
That's true.
$5,000 or some
That's true.
exorbitant number. It's just like
Yeah.
well,
sometimes they also give you access-
studio space, or even
Yeah.
you don't really, there are avenues to find things that would line up with what you want to do, while you're also doing a job and making money, and rather than pouring $20,000 into a school and going into debt. I'm not saying every situation for going to college is a terrible idea. My situation was specifically because I hated it. That was it.
Yeah, it's really just like a case by case thing, and besides knowing what it is you're gonna do exactly, hard to say. The infinite universe, does that scare anyone else, or is that just me?
It doesn't scare me. It interests me deeply.
I'm worried about the universe, because isn't the universe supposed to then start like collapsing after it finishes expanding? Like it's basically like expands, and then starts rapidly closing in again. I know that won't happen in our lifetime, but that's kind of weird to think about. Because wouldn't it hit us? It would basically like hit us before we knew it, because it's just going at like a beyond
Hit us?
light speed. Yeah, like the universe would just contract again and wipe us out in the blink of an eye, kind of like a roaming black hole.
There's
Those
this
are the real
thing
scary
that Neil Tyson and God damn it, I can't remember his name. It was in the Cosmos show, and he was talking about how like people worry that while we're spinning through space, we might collide with another planet. But there's so much space in space that it's so completely unlikely that anything will ever touch itself, like other things. And it's like if you took two galaxies and you see that they're colliding, the galaxies are colliding. It's mostly these like, I don't know, mesh wires are like passing through each other. There's no touching usually. It's just like they're coming slowly together and they're going to spin and create a different like nebula or something like that. And they don't touch. There's no bodies that really collide. So it's not really scary to think about. It's just like, the stars might be different or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to remember is space is so fucking big.
Yes.
And everything is so fucking far apart. It's kind of insane. Like, even the moon is like something like a week away. That's just crazy to think about.
Is it a week?
But let me Google this just to be sure. How long does it take to get to the moon?
Do you think it'll be like Google Maps? It'll be like type in the address is moon, but you have to put your method of travel. This is like bicycles.
Here.
It takes 70 years.
Yeah. Actually, no. It takes about 3 days to get to the moon. Apollo missions took about 3 days to reach the moon, but the quickest trip to the moon was New Horizons probe, which zipped past the moon in just 8 hours and 35 minutes.
That was a probe, though. That wasn't travel.
Yeah. And also, they technically wanted to launch it beyond the moon.
Calling a probe, like, using that for a reference as a human travel, that literally shoots like a bullet through space.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's not like a...
That's why it's called a
to
probe
carefully
and not a
land on
ship.
this thing. So, but yeah, I mean...
You can just hang
Theoretically, we could get to the moon in 8 hours. So there's some flights that are that long, which is interesting to think about. Dogs or cats?
I like both, but cats don't like me.
I like both too, but I'm gonna say
people
dogs.
who are so mad about what kind of animals they like.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just love all animals if they're cuddly and nice.
I don't like your
and
dogs.
Cool. I love my dogs.
I
even though
definitely
they're
say
weird.
like, if there's a living room I walked into of somebody's house and there's a dog sitting over there and there's a cat sitting over there, I'm probably gonna talk to the dog first.
Yeah, I'll probably go to the dog too.
And by talk to, I mean I really do talk to the animals. Go like, "Hello, how are you,
me
you
too.
stupid idiot?"
I'm always like, "Hello, young man. Tell me your life story. Tell me the tale of your journey here."
There was this tweet that I made where it was like one of those things where you have a name before a colon to see who's talking, like a little script almost. And it was like veterinarian. It was like, what do you want to name him? And it's just like me look at dog, and dog doesn't say anything, and I don't say anything, and I don't say anything, and dog doesn't say anything, and then go like, handsome young man it is. I think that's a fitting name.
Love that shit. Do you guys watch Vine compilations? I do. That's a really good time waster. There's a lot of good classics out there.
You should continue to watch those. I get money from it.
Really?
You know.
I actually haven't. I've like almost never run across your Vines in Vine compilations.
People are apparently sorcerers because they do it all the time and message me about it. Or someone at work will be like, "Hey, I found you randomly on a Vine compilation. I wasn't even looking for you." It's just like, that's weird.
Thing is, I don't watch them that often, but yeah.
Recently, someone put my fucking one of the Vines I made. It was like I don't remember what it was. It was like I did one where it was like a picture of two hawks. One of them was sitting on top of each other, and it was like, is that really necessary? You can fly. And then the guy was like, "Hush now, Jared Gregory. I can
yeah.
that thing." And they put it over a video of like a chicken on a tortoise, and it got like 1 million views on Instagram.
I remember that.
They didn't tag me, so that happens all the
dude.
fucking
All
time.
your shit keeps getting stolen and just like goes viral.
Yeah,
without you,
and
That's
I can't do anything because I don't care enough to message them and let them know that I'm like vying for attention.
I would definitely.
It just bothers me that they did it in the first place.
They're
There's
just
no
blatantly
winning.
stealing your shit. I would just be like,
I don't care enough.
Fuck you.
Because it was a 6-second video that I made.
Oh, there's some thought that goes.
I got
into
an
that.
email from someone that says like, "Hey, I found your thing, and here's a source you can use to take legal action against them." It's just like, I don't care that much, but you're welcome to try.
God. Where is Yaman? We didn't really address this that well.
Working stuff out.
Yeah.
By that means it could be
People are
a while.
people are gonna think we're like fighting, which we're not at all. Like we talk to Yaman
Oh, yeah.
every day. No, do not think.
But now they're gonna think
there's
we
like a
definitely
feud.
are fighting because you're like saying no, we weren't fighting. No, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is some Backstreet Boy shit. No, not at all. Yaman is working a lot, and he's also taking summer classes, which complicates things. I'm also working a lot. Patrick is working a lot. Our schedules rarely align well, and especially for Yaman, who
I'm gonna
is,
try
like,
to
the
get him
busiest
here
among
for
us.
50.
Yeah, he's got to be here for 50. Like we will bend over backwards.
Watch
to
it
try
not
and make
happen
that work.
though, because he doesn't care.
Yeah. We're gonna make it work. Don't worry. But yeah, that's where Yaman is. We're not fighting. It's all gravy, baby. Since you guys talk a lot about movies, have you ever considered making like a spreadsheet of your top 100 movies?
No,
Unordered, of course,
You
because
lost
that
me
would just
at
be
spreadsheet.
impossible. Or just a list, whatever. Well, now that you have seen this email, you guys should get on that ASAP. Thanks. I used to like order my top movies of the year on like a notes app on my phone, and I would just like keep moving around movies as I would like see movies throughout the year, just to like keep like a mental ranking of everything.
I don't
It's a
know how to do that. I can say if a movie is better than another movie, but I don't have like a mental list.
Well, it's easy for me to have a list, and then I just like move things up and down. Like, let's say I start with one movie, and then I see another movie, and I was like, okay, this movie was better than that. And then I see a third, and I was like, it was somewhere in between these two. And then I see another one, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna put that up here, and then so on and so forth. It's a lot easier than just being thrown like, here's every movie I ever saw, and now I need to like piece them together and think like which one I actually liked more and which one I didn't. You know. Movie Pass. Just a general note, you guys need to use it or shout it out. They could sponsor you or something. Shit's the bomb. I fucking wish anyone would sponsor us. I've thought about getting Movie Pass, but I also just don't have a lot of time to go to the movies, even though I'd love to see everything in the theater all the time. But I know they just announced a new pricing thing where it's not as good. I don't remember. I don't really follow this very well, but it looks whatever. Is it spell it Prude Dudes, PROOD or maybe Boob Noob? Okay. I like the second one better. Okay, that's the stuff. I'm outie this bitch. Yaman on Pat Alex's head. Is that like a saying?
No, she had that in her review.
Oh, is that what was in the
Yeah, that was
review?
it.
Oh yeah. I like that. We talked about liking that. I'm gonna write that down actually. That can kind of become like an unofficial thing. We did get another review that I have to also bring up.
And YouTube, you stupid cunt.
Yeah, we got to bring up YouTube.
You go to the reviews, and I'll go to YouTube.
All right, you go to YouTube. Well, we still have another email.
I know, but get ready.
Get ready. Here, this is from Alexis. It's past 3 a.m. here, so again, sleep deprived. But here are some of the sort of personal-ist questions out of genuine curiosity. Sorry if anything autocorrects. I'm not proofreading. How tall are you guys? Like, seriously,
weird.
This is really bothering me. That's really fucking personal.
Tobuscus, you remember him?
No, why are you bringing up Tobuscus?
Because
He's a shitty
one of the
person.
recommended videos is it's hashtag #MeToo ..light, and then the thumbnail says my side.
Oh, fuck off.
Bruh.
I don't care.
I'm uncomfortable.
Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit.
Oh,
I
that's
do not
so
care at all.
weird.
Get the fuck out of here. I would physically cringe at watching that video. Get the
It's
fuck out.
already Tobuscus.
Don't care. How tall are I am 6'3" officially. And I think Patrick is 6'4", 6'3" too.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's well technically from like they measured me a couple times the last time I was in the city, and they said 6'2.5". I was like, I thought it was a little taller than that. That wasn't like an ego thing. It was just like I thought it was taller, and they were like, well, yeah, but let's round it down because apparently it's like you want to hit like this perfect height because some people won't hire you if you're too tall.
Yeah, that's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Why are there no pictures of Yaman? Does he exist? Do we exist? What the fuck, Laman?
Yaman is a very self-deprecating
look what you've
person
done.
and rarely takes pictures of himself. He's a very, very low opinion of the way he looks, and it's always been the way he is. But you should definitely message him and tell him that he's handsome, so he will, because he's a handsome boy.
I would take more pictures of Yaman. He's a beautiful man.
You never see him, so you never get the opportunity.
That's true. Was Patrick scouted, or did he apply for the modeling stuff?
Someone DM'd me on
scouted or
Instagram and says like, "Yo, you're a whole snack." I'm not even lying.
That's how it happens.
They didn't say those exact words, but it was pretty much how it went.
How'd you meet, and why did you do Prude Dudes?
I meet you at Lifeguards.
Yeah, we met at Lifeguards.
What are you reading off of?
An email.
Oh.
We met lifeguarding
Like
when
2016.
No, before that, like 2014.
14.
It was my second year guarding, so I think I was just coming off of my sophomore year or something.
That was
And you were a fucking baby. And I remember when you walked in, I was like, "This kid looks like he's gonna shoot up the pool or something." Like,
You're racist.
you looked mad and sad. That's all I remember.
I just didn't care at all. And it was like really
Yeah.
angsty and I had all these issues.
Yeah. All right, that's that email.
Let me read something from the
read a
YouTube, though.
YouTube
This
comment.
is a comment on the number 48, the personality test. And it's from D007ization. This doesn't really count as a surreal, scary experience. Like we talked about that from the last one. And but I tell it at the slightest opportunity. Oh, I can't read. There was this one time I got wiped out surfing, and just as I was struggling to get my head above water, I had this really strange, almost calming realization that this wasn't a dream. I wasn't going to wake up if everything goes black. What?
Hang on. There was one time I got wiped out surfing and I was struggling to get my head above water. I had this really strange, almost calming realization that this wasn't a dream. Oh, that they were like comforted by the thought
Why
of
were
death.
you comforted?
Oh man. Well, your brain releases hormones as you're about to die, so that's probably why that happens.
Anyways, great podcast as usual, guys. Your personalities complement each other really well, and I miss Yaman or something. Me too.
Yaman's gotta come back. People keep talking about Yaman.
Yeah, this isn't going to
Need
bring
him
him back because he hates everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I remember something specifically being said about fuck Prude dudes, fuck y'all, fuck the fans, suck my dick. Something along those lines. All the YouTube. Someone's asking if you had sleep paralysis.
I never
And if
had
we-
it, but it sounds fucking terrifying.
Do we do this for a living? No. No.
I mean, I'm alive and I do it.
That's true.
How do you spell terrifying? Terrifying.
Dude, your Patrick William Charlton All Vines compilation right next to the podcast has like almost 500,000 views. That's so crazy.
Oh, is it by Swain?
It's by Retro Vine Compilations.
No.
I'm looking at it.
That's the one I get paid for.
That's weird.
It was like in the last few months, Vine has been subject in like popular media again, and that has brought like people's interest back to watching those videos. And like I get paid off collab, which is like, I don't know, it's based on the views or whatever. And the payments started getting like stupid, and it was just like, what? And then I looked at the videos and there were like a lot of views, and I'm like, this is uncomfortable. There's just too many people seeing me.
Oh wait, so you actually get paid decently?
It's like, I don't know, like the last one I got was like 560 something. It's every month.
Fuck, that's pretty.
It is. It's nothing to sneeze
That's
at.
decent.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot for me because I
That's
like
good.
$2, but
Yeah. Okay. You could live off like $2 a month if you could.
no,
I bet.
but I could stand on it and I could technically say I'm living off of it.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other? No, we read that already.
You're really unprepared for this.
No, I'm not. Here we go. This one is from Anne. Oh, do you want to read that other email that we got?
I don't have it up.
You don't have the email. Do you want to read the one that you replied to?
I don't remember which one that is.
Is the one about?
I'm switching.
I don't know.
to
it's like kind of personal. Personal. So I
Gmail.
don't know if
on my
I should bring it
personal.
up. No, it's kind of personal, so I don't know if I should
Oh
bring
wait,
it
the
up.
one that was sent to me and then I forwarded.
Yes.
No, I don't want to read that. I just wanted to share it with you guys.
Okay.
I got a very sweet email from this person who wanted to tell me that they are happy when they watch my videos.
So yeah.
But that was a little personal, so it's not for me, for them.
Yeah, it was touching. All right, this email's from Anne. Hi guys, as always, love the Prude podcast more than any other. I've been listening to it since the beginning and look forward to it every week. So glad you did the Myers-Briggs test on the podcast. I don't follow it as biblically as some people do, but I think it's very interesting listening to other people do it, and it can be helpful in understanding yourself and others in some instances. I'm personally INFJ, which supposedly is the most rare type, and barely 1% of the population is that personality type. My grandma, who's obsessed with Myers-Briggs, always laughs at me because she's ENFJ and claims this explains why no one understands her and I. It surprised me that Patrick came up as an extrovert, but that's why I don't use it religiously. Also related to an email you received about the girl who wanted to cut off her high school friends. I'm 21, and out of the 6 people I had friends with, I now speak to 1, and even that is only when we run into each other at Walmart and shit. My current friends are people I went to high school with, but didn't know them, and we're all better for it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The other thing is I've also felt the want/need to cut off people recently, but it's more drastic. I guess more like Patrick. I came out to my parents back in October, and we haven't stopped fighting since. This and unsolvable issues with a couple of current friends pushes me more and more into buying a one-way train ticket and never seeing anyone or speaking to anyone again. Just starting over and making a new family and friend group. I'll admit this somewhat borders on running away from problems, but things like violently homophobic parents are extremely unlikely to be solved anytime soon, if ever. Have any of you ever felt the urge to run away and never look back? If I'm honest, the only thing keeping me from cutting everyone off is my 7 siblings, the youngest of which is 18 months old. Anyways, thanks for everything. 7 siblings is a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know the feeling of just sort of like having a family or extended family that's very conservative and like not very accepting. I know what that's like, and it's fucking brutal because you care about those people, but they have terrible opinions.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should judge yourself at all for leaving a situation like that. I think it's very smart.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's selfish at all to look after yourself. This kind of ties back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the episode where I mentioned I don't think you need to arbitrarily respect your elders just because they're your elders. In this case, obviously applies to your parents. So, in the case of your friends, I don't think you need to run away from everything. I think if you have a group of friends that you're happy with, which it seems like you are, definitely stick around them because you always need people to support you and have a good laugh with. But as for your parents, if they're just causing you more distress in your life than it's worth, then I would definitely, honestly, like just kind of cut them off. Or I don't know what your situation is. If you're in college, if you've moved out.
Well, she said she had 7 siblings that she wanted to stay in touch with. So,
right.
So that might push her to like visit.
Yeah, that's like a big complication. But I assume most of them are old enough to be able to communicate with you on their own. But even so, my, I guess, balanced situation for you to possibly try is keep an arm's length. Keep your parents at arm's length if you can. I don't know if you're in college or if you're moved out, living with your parents and working. Don't know what your situation is, but whatever you can do to put distance between you and your parents so you interact with them as little as possible while still maintaining a relationship with your siblings is the strategy for now, unfortunately.
Some situations work like that, but in others, the aggressors are using the people that you like as tokens and sort of holding them at arm's length from you and being like, if you want to see them, you got to see us. You know?
Exactly.
Latching onto them like with chains.
Yeah. I always feel weird giving like life advice, but I'm doing the best we can. All right. And with that, we're going to read off one quick YouTube podcast review on iTunes. This is from MMC 2020, Boys Night. What's better than this? Dudes being prude. Thank you for that. We are at 86 5-star ratings on iTunes. It would be cool if we could get to 100 by the end of, I want to say by the end of July. I think we could easily do that. We've been getting lots of ratings every week, which is pretty crazy. I think last week we were at 78 or 80. I don't remember, but we're jumping up there. So if you would be so kind, go and rate us on the iTunes store. It helps out the show. If you leave a funny review or any review at all, really, we'll read it. And I know Android just launched like a Google Podcast app. Pretty sure we're on there because we were on the other old Google Podcast app. So if you want to leave us a review there, go for it. I don't know how to access that because I don't have an Android phone, but I assume it'll help us out.
Lies.
About what?
Lies.
Yes.
I found this in a gutter. It's just a little charm bracelet thing that says buddy. It's got like beads on it. And someone asked me where I got it, and I was like, a little girl gave it to me. And they were like, oh my god, that's so sweet. I don't know why I lied about that. It was just reflex. I just was like, this will make me look funny. Cool.
God. All right. The lesson of this podcast is don't do what Patrick does in life.
Lie all the time.
Just don't do that. If you want to email what? Just say your shit.
Someone was pointing out to me. Someone messaged me the other day. It's like, on your podcast, you talked about how it was like the Kanye West thing. You said like, if you don't like someone steal their music, do you actually think that? No, I don't actually think that. You should not steal people's music. There you go.
I feel like that's a lie.
That's not a lie. I don't think you should steal.
Really? You wouldn't steal a car, would you?
You wouldn't download a car. Say the ending, Slate. Shut up.
Would work. Send us an email to prudes@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, that's at prudedudes. If you want to follow us at our personal accounts and see our bad takes, I'm at AlexPenna97. Patrick is at PatrickSharp25, and Yaman is at its_Yaman. Thank you again for listening, guys. And we'll see you again next week.